When I first saw Uncut Gems, I'll be honest, I sort of hated it. It's literally 2 hours of nonstop chaos and anxiety, and I wasn't really sure if that type of movie was for me. Actually, come to think of it, I literally remember people in the theater getting up and walking out halfway through the film. And judging by its Rotten Tomato page, well, yeah, you could say that this is a pretty divisive film. And yet, despite all of that, I decided to sit down and watch it again, and I now think I sort of love it. The crazy thing is, even though having already seen this movie before, my anxiety was still through the roof while I was watching it. But because I already knew how things were going to play out, I actually found myself paying more attention to the Howard Ratner character than I did the first time. And let me tell you, this guy is one of the scummiest movie characters in recent memory, but you also can't help but sort of root for him. I know, it's weird. Full spoilers ahead. If you haven't already seen Uncut Gems, please go watch it. Seriously, it's really, really good. One of the biggest aspects of Howard Ratner I didn't really pay attention to the first time I watched this film was just how little this man cares about his family. Every interaction he has with his kids, his wife, it's all tied up around his gambling debts and his addiction to chasing the next big score. Howard skips his daughter's play, he watches basketball highlights in his son's room instead of reading him a bedtime story because he's got money on the game. And it honestly isn't until his wife tells him off that he realizes he's screwed up every single chance he's had at having the family he's always wanted. It's actually really sad, and I definitely didn't appreciate this part of the film the first time I saw it. Hey, while we're at it, can we talk about Julia Fox's performance in this movie? This was literally her first big role, and she absolutely crushes it in this film. To my knowledge, she hasn't really broken through quite as much as I thought she would just yet, but in Uncut Gems, her performance is absolutely next level. Now, between the two times I saw this movie, I went back to watch another Safdie brothers film. It's called Good Time. It's got Robert Pattinson, aka Robert Battinson, Batman. Good Time is phenomenal, and you should absolutely watch it too. But in seeing it, it really helped me understand that Uncut Gems is the perfect version of the Safdie brothers filmmaking style, and I had no idea that this is the kind of beautiful chaos they were capable of creating. I mean, these two thrive in creating movies that are just pure chaos and anxiety, but with likable leads that are also sort of terrible people. I also think it's great that the film's ending is pretty predictable. I mean, the first time I saw it, I definitely thought that Howard was going to die at the end of this movie, sort of the way that I thought Walter White was probably going to die at the end of Breaking Bad. These are terrible people, and even though you're rooting for them, you still know that they're probably in so deep that there's really only one outcome. I mean, Uncut Gems does not hide the fact that Howard Ratner is usually in with the sort of people where if you don't pay them back, they usually enjoy breaking your kneecaps or some other parts of your body. You have to have some sort of idea that a character like Howard, with all of the problems he does have, probably isn't going to survive till the end of the film. But at the same time, I also think that it's a great choice that the film doesn't end with him dying. There's a lot of chaos going on around him while his body just lays there on the floor and his shop gets completely robbed and ransacked. And it's kind of depressing in a way, but at the same time, it sort of just shows that life goes on, despite the chaos that surrounded Howard for most of his life. You could linger on the death of someone like Howard Ratner, but also, you probably shouldn't, so the Safdie brothers don't. Uncut Gems, I think, is one of those movies that you really have to watch multiple times in order to really appreciate what they created. And while the Safdie brothers haven't really done too much since this movie, I'm fine with that. I mean, I would love to see whatever they're creating next, but Uncut Gems is one of my favorite films of all time. And if you haven't watched it yet, absolutely go check it out. Thanks for watching.